Welcome on IG6 Games, the gamer channel that brings you a variety of entertainment and content. Bo here and here. Before we kick things off, would appreciate the love by y'all sharing and hitting those icons and need to clicking. With that said, check out our social medias where we post daily and keep in touch with our followers. Now let go. Alright, in this video we're going to touch up on the skill tiers and how they relate to our builds with the coming Gear Rework 2.0, aka episode 3. At its basis, skill tier will just substitute for skill power. There's no longer skill power and 3 to 4 digit number based on your skill. It's now going to be tiered from 0 to 6, and that is all based on the core attribute of each gear piece, aka gloves, chest piece, backpack. We'll get more into chest piece and backpacks later. So in general, you're trying to make a skill build, you'll want to range probably with the tier to be at a 4 or higher. Let's just keep it at that. This just in itself brings the more basic building system for the agents who kind of had troubles trying to balance a build, and we're no longer chasing, you know, like 1561 skill power for one particular skill while the other one needs 1742 skill power to get the mods that you want on it. I like what they did here, but let's get a little more into it. First, I just gotta say, I haven't particularly taken to the Division 2 quite as much as the Division 1, even though it had all its faults. It wasn't really good till 1.6. That's neither here nor there. TD2 to me has kind of been a bust throughout its first year of inception, or however you want to say, of its lifespan. But this Gear Rework 2.0, if it's executed to the way that they intend, I really see the community really getting behind this, and they'll accept it quick. And just the basic fact of putting a build together is not a goddamn Power Excel spreadsheets. It's just, I can't wait till this shit drops. But back to the skill. I'm sorry for that little, I'll digress and get back to the skill tier and how it functions. Now let's hit on individual skills that we deploy. Each has a different setup of how it scales. As a rule of thumb, wear a lot of yellows and your skills become stronger and stronger. So you'll have your tier 1 through tier 6 being you wear all core attributes yellow. So it's going to be kind of like when you're modding up your skills, you have your weak ones. Remember those blue, purple days? Well, even though you could really have a good one for purple, but that's beside the point. The point is, we no longer have to find that god roll mod slot for a skill to get the most out of it. It's going to be based on your build in the general building of the aspect of building. Sorry for all the builds. So I have an example here with the turret. You'll see tier 1 displayed, and it'll show how it's deployed, the range it will cover, the damage, skill haste, all them good stats. And then a tier 2 will be shown, and that's going to show just the increase of the range it will spread. It's got to have a good spread. Sorry, Bill Burr reference. So the turret range is going to be bigger, the damage will be more effective, and your skill haste and blah blah blah. The point is, the higher the skill, the more effective your skills work, and hence making a skill build. Now with this gear rework, they're also introducing a new state for skills, and the state is called overcharge. And this is where you get a temporary boost to whichever skill you have for deployment. Now, you get overcharged through various ways. You can do specific talents on your chest and backpack, which are the only places you get talents now on your gear. So you get chest and backpack talents. You have gear sets with their particular attributes and exotics themselves. I would imagine the BTSU gloves, the holster, no, not the holster, maybe the knee pads as well. Yeah, definitely the knee pads. Now I like what they're doing with this overcharge. It gives a little more incentive for the skill builds, but I can't imagine it being that functional in the PvE aspect of the game. We really don't need much help unless they up the NPC difficulties. We're not running skill builds in the raid, and through heroics, you really don't need that many skills. Pretty much just weapon damage, and you'll take care of what needs to be done. But I could definitely see in this being a huge strategy tactics with PvP. Knowing when to execute this overcharge, you'll probably, oh god, I know we don't have a sticky in TD2, but remember those days? Oh, I can see one hitters. But who knows, using the chem launchers and whatnot, maybe the seeker balls, there'll be some things that do some pretty, I bet you, some big damage on PvP. But just in case you're a little more curious about overcharge, here are just a couple of examples they have for us. The flame turret has a very big radius, as they say, and the repair hive, the drones, are very fast for a moment. So with some skills, I don't see overcharge being much of a deal. It's mostly probably going to be that damage dealing kind of skills where you want that extra boost to get that damage. And just a couple little tidbit side notes along with this gear rework in relation with the skills. Skill mods are still in the mix, but since the main power comes from our the skill tiers with our core attributes of our gear pieces, the skill mods have a simpler role, like jacking up damage or haste by little percentages. Pretty much very similar to how weapon mods work in the game. The battery mods are gone. No more battery mods once Gear 2.0 hits. Explosive damage is no longer a role as an attribute, so you have to get that elsewhere, aka the mods, the brands you use, you know, putting those 2-3 piece sets together. And what I love, faster skill deployments. We all know that turret, setting up that turret, you expose yourself, or the chem launcher, you don't get that nice stay in cover while trying to get your goddamn targets lined up. You simply, well, if I'm reading this right, we get to deploy it faster, aka probably not going to be as vulnerable while you deploy it. Now tell me, I know a lot of people have left the game, but I really believe they're on the right track here, finally. But like TD1, they had to get the fucking motor running. They had to get it warmed up, throwing some coal in that bitch. And I think for the people who come back, this will be a long haul, keeping us at least interested in the game for quite a while. I mean, there's still the need of the additional content to play. I don't know about y'all, but just running missions over and over, just don't do it. But this whole gear rework is a freaking godsend. Thank you, devs. Tell me what y'all think about how this update's gonna... What do y'all think if this brings back the community at least a portion? And does this drive your interest enough where you'll come back? And as we close out, hope you got what you came for. Share with your mates. Click those buttons that need the clicking. Want to catch us in action? Check out the squad as we stream. Schedule down below in the description. Swing on by and say hello. And as always, I say peace.